Hello everybody and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, I'm a D&D Sex Icon and I'm back today with another episode of Warhammer Beneath Dark Boughs. I've got the full cast and crew and this time I'll remember to introduce every single one of them. We've got our Dungeon Master, Jim Davis with us tonight. Jim, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. Excited to see what's in store for our witch hunters today as they recover from a brutal Ungor attack last week.
Absolutely. We have Mr. Jonathan Pruitt with us tonight. Pruitt, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to start Act 2 of this role-playing play, and after the events of last week, barely make it into the Keep Alive, kind of reassess and see where we need to go from here. So I'm ready to get to it.
Absolutely. We have Charlie with us tonight. Charlie, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm super excited for Warhammer Wednesday, as I have christened this day. I'm just so excited to find out where we're going to go next and how we're going to get through. I think it's been a big blow seeing what happened to Matthias and Rat last week, and it's all ramping up and scaling up in terror and horror and wild magic.
Absolutely. We also have Alice back with us tonight. Alice, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Again, been very excited about this all week, especially after the seriously intense session last week. But yeah, just can't wait to get into it.
Absolutely. And last, most least, we have cosplayer extraordinaire Gareth with us tonight. Gareth, how are you doing?
Yeah, I sewed this myself. Spent about 8 hours on it. I hope it's authentic. I'm really good, thanks. Looking forward to this, as always. Highlight of my week. And looking forward to playing with these guys.
Absolutely. I will be playing Matthias Hurst, the vampire hunter, who's currently had a bit of an injury to his leg, but that has not injured his fervor to purge heresy from everywhere and anywhere. Before we get into tonight's show and do a little recap of last week, I remind you guys that we're sponsored by Fantasy Grounds, our virtual tabletop of choice. As I was saying beforehand on the countdown, the community pack that we're using for Fantasy Grounds was free, so you can just go and download that and play your own Warhammer games on Fantasy Grounds and a bunch of other tabletops as well. Also, Wayland Games are our miniature line of choice where you can get your own Warhammer minis at 20% off RRP. That includes Beastman and Heretics, should you be a heretic, but you can also find Witch Hunter models. There you go. Also, you guys can interact with today's show. If you haven't followed yet, hit the follow button and join us. We hit 40 followers. You guys get to decide what happens next in our game. Also, here is the tweet for you guys as well. At 20 retweets, we'll have another viewer decision where you guys can help the party. That's emphasis on help the party, not sending in horrible monsters to kill us or giving Jim Davis nat 20s, because you can also donate to affect the game by giving players nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges, and worse. Once again, an emphasis on helping the party, and I repeat, not giving Jim Davis nat 20s to use to murder the party. But I will hand over to Jim to remind us what happened last week on the show, Jim, and to take us into this episode.
Yes, please. Nat 20s for everyone. What happened last week was that the party of witch hunters, seemingly frustrated by their efforts in Boughs, decided to cut down several holy trees and set them alight. And out of that bonfire, they saw eyes in the dark, and an Ungor beast herd had attacked Obelheim in waves. There was a minotaur there that showed up and drove the huddled masses of the villagers out into the killing fields beyond the walls of Obelheim. Our party fought valiantly at the southern and eastern gates to hold off the Beastmen and to buy themselves enough time to escape, but 2 of our heroes suffered grievous wounds. Rat losing his right eye to a Beastman's cleaver, a vicious scar now upon his face, and Matthias gored by a minotaur's horn through the leg. The party escaped into the safety of a nearby abandoned castle, where they met Inquisitor Maingold Ultiman, who decided to reveal some information about his opinion on the Tallites, that they were indeed heretics in need of purging. And as we left last week, the surviving dwarves who were with the party had taken the Slayer's Oath, shaving off their beards and shearing off their hair as they sang lamentations to their own dishonor. And that evening in Obelheim, the party perhaps you have trouble sleeping, as outside the safety of the castle walls, you hear the butcher's work being done by the Bray herd. Far into the woods, you can hear their cries of war and of the hunt as they hunt down fleeing villagers that have escaped eastward into the woods and northward along the trail to Badau. It is early in the morning before the sounds of killing start and the fires of Obelheim die down, a hazy smoke and lightly falling ash obscuring the village and the distant forests beyond. So we'll kind of say, I'm curious as to how everyone spent the night, but it was an uninterrupted night.
Matthias would have penned letters. One would be to Witch Hunter General Hexenjager Krupp, which is to inform him of what's going on, and the other would be to I haven't got his name up, but the Markgraf, also
Wigmar.
entreating his aid. Yeah, Wigmar. And he probably wouldn't send for Alero until the morning to take the letter.
Yeah, and she would have probably found a place high on like an embattlement to just kind of keep watch, but not long. I mean, it was a harrowing fight. She would have probably drifted off to sleep up there.
Yeah, there's a rather tall tower right next to the gatehouse that offers the best vantage point.
I imagine Sorry, go ahead.
Nora probably didn't intend to sleep because she tried to keep an eye on the others, how they were doing, and this new witch hunter that they've met, but she probably dozed off, sort of propped up on her own axe and bag or something, sort of slept in a seated position eventually.
Okay.
I imagine Rat found kind of a dank room somewhere underneath some stairs or hidden out the way, kind of reminding me of how he used to sleep, kind of being woken up every couple of hours by Mullet lapping at his eye, trying to lick the wound better. And I imagine just kind of staring down at maybe a puddle that had on the ground, just seeing himself.
Okay.
Looking at what he looks like now.
Just staring at his unbandaged face. Sorry,
Yeah, just kind of,
Fine.
just looking
So
at what damage had been done.
Yidris was with Matthias while he was writing his letters, but she would have been studying her anatomy book and just trying to brush up on things that she could do to better care for both his injury and Rat's injury, knowing that we're in kind of a precarious position and having been reminded about the threats of infection and disease and things.
Yeah, they so you study that for a good portion of the night then?
Yeah, and then eventually she'll leave Matthias to writing his letters in his room and just go and find somewhere to pull up for the rest of the night and get some rest.
Yeah. So as I said, the night is uninterrupted. Zalgeg and another one of the dwarves were pretty wounded, and their other two brethren, after they've taken the Slayer's Oath, go to sort of tend to them and go off to a part of the keep to be by themselves for a bit. But it is noisy, and the smoke from the fires, eventually gets into the keep and, makes it just even more unpleasant. And light weakly pierces the morning haze as morning breaks over the village of Obelheim, and the party, begins to set about their third day of being in the region. So who wakes first, and give me an idea of what the plans are for the day.
Alera would awake at the first rays of light. She's used to that, and plus her higher vantage, she might notice it first. And she will immediately, after kind of checking the immediate area, go ahead and head down to check on the others. Most importantly, Matthias.
Okay. Matthias is writing letters all night.
Yeah, he'd be awake, but probably not feeling too great. And look up when Alero steps in and says, "Alero, I need your assistance."
Matthias, whatever it is, I'm at your service as always.
We need to send word to the Markgraf, and I know no one who is swifter than you.
Well, I appreciate your faith in me, but do you think that he will accept the word, even with your mark, from one of my kind?
He seemed to have no hatred in his heart for your people. I think we have to hope that he will listen. Yidris wants to go, but I think Rat needs to be healed.
Yes. His wound was most grievous. How was yours?
It is nothing.
Well?
I am fine. I will be able to ride any day now. It's definitely not fine.
and she she's seen wounds. She's like, yes, of course, Matthias.
Yeah. You estimate just like it's going to be at least a week or more until Matthias is even in walking shape.
Shall you? When would you like me to depart? Immediately or wait for nightfall? What is your counsel?
I think as soon as possible would be best. As for this letter, and I hand it, which is sealed for Hexenjager, can you see to finding a raven or bird which can take it, fly it outdoors?
Yes, I will make all the arrangements. I will see it done. Fear not. And she'll take that and put it in her leather jerkin, like in a little pocket or something.
Okay.
There's a knock. Oh, sorry. There's a knock on the door as Yidris comes down. Matthias, Alero, you've made plans for the messages. And she's looking between them, seeing the letters are now gotten from the desk.
That's right. Alero is a swift rider. We need you here.
You sure it's wise for her to go alone? Perhaps.
No, but I don't think sending you away is an option now either.
It is only a short ride. If only the Markgraf hadn't been so biased against dwarves, Nora could have gone. And she's chewing her lip, trying to think of a solution where she can basically split herself in half and be in two places at once.
We must trust in Alero. She knows these woods like anyone else, better than anyone else, and can move through them swiftly.
And you see Alero not really want to say this, but she looks up and meets eyes with Yidris. I will be able to move more swiftly alone. Though the company would give me assurance, perhaps I will be better at this task alone. Yes.
Right. That is what is decided. She's obviously not best pleased, but she's not going to argue about it.
I suppose I should go see if.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask after Rat. Is he well?
I've not been to check on him yet. I was going to go there after checking on your leg.
It's fine. Thank you.
Yidris will kind of take it as she's been dismissed and go and check on Rat.
And that's a wild magic search for
just of course.
And so after Yidris departs, Lara will get up and... Well, I suppose I should head out with all haste.
Yep.
I will complete this, Matthias. And she goes to the door, but before she walks out, she turns back and looks with a little sadness in her eyes. And in case I don't see you again, Matthias, you really do smell like goat piss. And she kind of walks out after that with a little smile on her face.
Now, so how is Alira getting out of the castle?
First, she's going to go up on the battlements again and just kind of check the town, like looking at the inn where we kept our horses. It's still intact, yes?
Give me a perception check real quick. And this is at, where's my difficulty chart at? This is going to be a hard task for vision. So it's at -20.
Okay, and I have excellent vision. So that's only makes that a -10. Maybe I failed by 1 degree.
You can see sort of hazy shapes of buildings, some of them half burnt, others maybe not, in the village beyond, but there was that open space where there was like a pillory and then you had built a bonfire right beside it. That whole area and immediately sort of north of it is all just burned. And then on the southern side of that open space, the patches of burned are less and there are still buildings intact. And that's where the inn was.
So it could still be there, yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay. But immediately around the wall, I don't see any of the Bray herd around.
You don't see any. Well, you see some movement in through the smoke, but it looks more like maybe dogs or birds.
Okay. Well, in that case, not wanting to lower the bridge or anything, does it look like she could maybe find a place to like tie a rope off and kind of climb down the wall?
Yep. Okay.
Before she does, she just wants to go and find like Yidris and Nora and make sure Rat's okay. I don't know if maybe they're like getting breakfast or something. But just wanted to say that I will see you soon. It is but a quick ride. Hopefully do I think I can get back by nightfall? If all things go well.
Yes.
Okay. I will hopefully return by nightfall. Do not worry for me.
What state is Oberheim beyond the castle walls?
It is difficult to see. The fog has obscured most of the town, but north is almost completely burned. I will try to get Sophia out of the inn. Hopefully, it is still intact, and so is she. And with that, she'll go back to the wall and like tie a rope off and begin climbing down.
Sweet. Go ahead and I guess roll me that wild magic surge if you haven't already.
You want me to?
Or who is it for?
I thought it was for Rat.
I went. There were two.
Leru has one and Rat has one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I already rolled a wild magic surge because I figured that there would be. So 23, 37.
Pre-rolled.
Yeah, I pre-rolled one. I don't know why. I just had this weird feeling.
Wow, strange. Your spell book glows in the dark.
Oh, good.
Alrighty.
You filthy heretic. Fucking spell book.
So nothing.
Up to Jim. I mean, it could be something else.
I think maybe it's your.
Don't say my bow.
The bow.
Oh my! Shit. Oh, cool. Okay. So yes, my tattoo begins to glow.
Yeah.
That's annoying for sneaking around.
Mask it.
Nice.
New mask.
Yeah.
Garrus,
just got rid of the mask.
You just got rid of the mask.
Get it back on. One of Rat's limbs appears identical to another limb. So, like, your hands are, like, absolutely identical or something, or your arms are...
So he has, like, 2 left arms.
You got 2 left arms.
To have a leg for an arm.
Does he have a third leg now? So.
I kind of, I guess I kind of like that. That's sort of subtle. You can kind of hide that. Like you have
Well, maybe. Well, think about this though. If his hands was identical, that means then on one hand the thumb would be on the other side, right? I don't know.
Sure.
It's one way you could maybe play it. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that to you.
Yeah.
I imagine I go to pick something up and my thumb's suddenly on the wrong side.
Or what
what
if it's like your feet and you're like stumbling around for a day or so because you've now literally have 2 left feet?
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
Okay,
Rat's
let's do
misery
that.
will never end.
Let's do that. Rat wakes up from his slumber and finds that his feet match. He's got 2 lefties.
Yeah, I imagine maybe they hear from another room, like the sound of someone kind of very obviously falling and kind of screaming with, like, what else is going to go wrong?
Yidris was on her way to see Rat to see if she could provide some healing for him. And she'll just pick up pace and hurry towards the thump and the yelp.
Okay. I imagine Mullet's probably like yipping as well. I don't know.
You'll kind of find Rat in a heap on the floor. Like, from his one good eye, you'll find, like, visible tears. And from his other eye, he's kind of... You can see the pain where what's left of his tear ducts are leaking into his open wound. As it just kind of self-fuels itself. The pain fuels the tears, which fuel the pain. And he just kind of looks up and... Are you gonna kill me? I don't want to die.
I'm not gonna die, Rat. Not today. And she's gonna pick him up. I'm trying to think of like a non-patronizing way of doing this, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like the baby pickup because he's small and she doesn't want to hurt him.
At this point, he's just kind of completely destitute, and he just kind of lays in your arms. Like, Mullet like allows it completely and follows behind.
She'll kind of make her way to just like the nearest chair. She's not going to try and find the bed or anything, just a near chair that she can sit in.
You must all be so disappointed in me.
Matthias was very impressed. He fought very well.
Matthias is nearly dead. He was saying it to make me feel better. You should be with him. He's the one that can help everyone.
I just came from his room. He is well. Do you really believe Sigmar would let him fall so soon?
I don't know what to believe anymore. What? Where is everyone else? Where is Alara? Where's Nora?
Alara has gone to seek the Markgraf with news of what has happened here, and Nora is attending to breakfast. Shall I have her bring you some? She's like desperately trying to think of anything that can cheer up Rat right now.
There's breakfast.
Rat will... Alara has gone out on her own. What? She can't be behind the walls on her own. And he goes to stand up and immediately falls down onto the floor again. We're the team. Why would you let her go on her own?
It was faster that way. She will be back before nightfall. Let me look at your eye.
It's bad. There's nothing left. And he kind of pulls back his cloak and shows you just a gaping eye socket.
She'll kneel down beside him so she's like a similar height and just do some sort of checking of it very carefully, like pulling the skin to see.
Both Matthias and and rat's wounds are miraculously free of infection. That was but they are quite wounded, and Rat is going to require, without magical assistance, require a long time to fully heal up.
Speaking of magic, there's a wild magic surge for Mullet the dog from Gaming Den. Is no one safe?
No.
Even the dogs?
Fuck with me. Don't you fuck with my dog.
Don't mess with Mullet.
Mullet, no.
It's 4128. I am literally as terrified as I've ever been right now. Do not do this to me.
Poor Mullet.
Mullet?
Guys don't know we have a
Water-
pact,
Oh.
but Mullet's in a G-rated movie.
Does Mullet
I don't
get
like
a
the
fate
look on
point
Will's
after
face.
the last battle?
This is bad, guys.
Oh no!
Any-
shit!
Any water to come in contact with Mullet's body is poisonous to him.
Oh no!
Do not cry on your dog. For the love
Oh,
of God, do
no.
not cry on the dog.
At the end of the
They
fucking
got Mullet.
Will Smith movie. Oh,
That's the other thing is
Got
they got Mullet.
we have to make sure Rat doesn't get any water because he'll now die as well.
He
I
technically
swear
he
to God,
can
I will
back
find you. I will fucking find you.
up. He has a particular set of skills.
So Yidris is gonna somehow persuade and take Rat back to his room with the promises of breakfast and try and do some healing to just clean out the wound again, make sure it's all. Okay.
As you're coming by, Ottokar comes out of whatever corner of the keep he was staying in, and he has with him a satchel of clean linens and some dried herbs and things like that. He was the one who had tended Rat's wounds immediately after the battle, and he approaches Yidris. He says, "I'm afraid that without some Terabeth herb, it will be difficult for Rat to heal. It grows in the woods nearby, but I'm afraid those woods are no longer safe." And he's as he states this to you, you kind of realize he's not like saying it like, "Oh my God, what are we going to do?" It's like, "I'm about to go out there and get some," is what he's preparing for.
Perhaps Nora and I could go. You draw us what to look for. Draw us a picture of what to look for and describe where we could find it. You should probably stay here. Your healing skills are far superior to mine.
He kind of looks, and are either of you skilled in herbcraft?
Healing.
It's a thistle, dark blue in color, and he described where you can find it and sort of the shade of these particular bushes. I'll need 2 big handfuls of it. And he's like, he just needs the thistle bulbs. Doesn't matter how much of the stem.
The like spiky.
Yeah. And if you find any valerian flower, that as well. And that's if you have common knowledge empire.
Yes.
It's just having that. It's a flower that grows like all throughout the empire. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. What's that?
You can take Mullet with you. He's not eaten his breakfast yet.
Alright, Rat, we'll take Mullet with us. You're just like, this is the worst idea ever, but I can't say no to him right now.
Okay.
I'll just cry again. I can't deal with it.
So Yidris and Nora are going to set out into the woods to go find these herbs.
Sorry, what was the name of the first one?
Terabeth.
Herbal.
Nora's sort of been quite quiet. I mean, she's quiet anyway, but quite quiet most of the time, probably following the older witch hunter around and wandering and trying to have a look around this fort/castle that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
And has probably crossed paths with Yidris as she's having this conversation. So, we're going out into the woods.
Yes, we need to find some supplies to help Rat and Matthias heal. And Alera has already gone with a message for the Markgraf.
I saw. And she sort of looks at Rat and sort of holds his face and gets him to look up at her, and he's like, yeah, it'll be fine. We'll go get it.
You got Mavic though, he'll look after you. He's a good boy.
That he is. And she sort of gives him a pat on the head. She's like, come on. And she sort of heads towards the door already.
Yidris is super relieved to see that someone knows what to do with the dog.
Okay. Now, are y'all going to go out down the rope that Alero used, or through the drawbridge?
If we look out a window or something nearby, can we see anything by the drawbridge?
Can we see anything from like ground level?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's like battlements, and even in the tower that's next to the gatehouse, it's got, you know, battlements that look directly out in front of the castle. Immediately in front of the castle, there's the sort of a cluster of buildings. One of them's like a blacksmith, and then looks like maybe a home of some kind. There doesn't seem to be anything there, and the fire died down before it got to that portion of the village. And so there's nothing immediately in front of the castle right now. But you're pretty sure you can see movement from out in the village. Like dogs and the like, wandering through the haze.
Nora will probably just heave up her axe and try and stride straight out the front door then.
Yeah, Yidris would probably prefer to go kind of on foot and not be climbing down things right now. It's too vulnerable a position.
Okay. Autocar will lower the drawbridge for you then and let Nora and Yidris out. So that leaves Rat, Matthias, Ottilia, who is attending their wounds at the moment, Autocar, and Inquisitor Alterman left in the castle, as well as the 4 dwarves. Let's see here. So you guys are like basically following right after Alero. I want to know what those of you who are staying in the castle are doing to sort of, are you going to hunker down? Are you making use of your time in any way? Both Matthias and Rat are very wounded, and it will take many weeks with outside of magical assistance for them to heal. So give me an idea of how you guys pass the day while half your party is gone.
I go check in on Rat, which is to say, I probably call him over. I try to get up, but I can't walk, so I'll send Ottilia to get him for me.
I like the idea that Matthias starts it though by just hollering Rat's name as loud as he can.
Rat! Rat!
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
Ottilia, comes to Rat. What do we?
The wild magic search for me from Biohazard, thanks. Just what I need.
Your leg miraculously heals.
I swear to God if it is.
That'd be amazingly specific.
Crazy.
If you should have got my one. Your legs looks like the other one. That'd have been perfect for you.
Oh my god, yeah.
It could have been numerous. It could have been both legs are fucked. So 6201. I am so badly disfigured that people flee from me in horror.
And they did that anyway.
Yeah, this. I mean, people do flee from me in horror.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Flee from me in
Your
horror.
face is already like messed up, right?
Yeah, the face is fucked already. So he has a
Skin condition.
skin condition.
Okay, so I will say that you have the talent Frightening now.
Ooh.
That is a talent that you get from Warhammer, meaning that you cause fear in others. Other people have to make willpower tests to...
Sick. All right, I'll look that up later, but I'll add that in for now.
I
cool.
kind of... Rat walks in the room.
Yeah, Matthias.
Matthias looks like absolutely fucking terrifying, apparently. It's like being called into
Rat looks
Headmaster's
everywhere but at Matthias right now. He's that sickened by him.
Rat, how are you doing?
it's gone. My eye's not there anymore. I didn't cry about it. I'm being strong for you, Matthias.
That is good. Sigmar has gifted you with 2 eyes. So, there is that.
The Minotaur took one away, so... Is Sigmar gonna give me another one?
Perhaps. If our quest is honorable, perhaps Sigmar will gift you with another eye, Rat. Remember when we saw Sigmar in a vision? Touched each and every one of us.
Rat kind of bites his lip a little bit.
Can I say something without you thinking that I'm a heretic, or... I didn't see Sigmar.
What did you see?
I saw a lady.
What kind of woman?
She was nice. She was older. She just gave me a hug. It felt good, but you all spoke about how you saw Sigmar, and I didn't. Is there something wrong with me?
Sigmar moves in mysterious ways. It can take various different forms. Perhaps you saw what comforted you most. Sigmar chose to take the form of someone who reminded you of someone, perhaps.
I don't know many ladies that pretty.
You have a mother?
How is it you...
Perhaps it looked like her.
She had a lot more warts, and she didn't really like me. She never gave me a hug.
My mother was the same.
How is it, no matter what happens, you know Sigmar's there for you? What if I've pissed him off? What if I've made him upset and he's punishing me?
Sigmar would forgive you if you had an errant thought. As long as you live your life the way that Sigmar would want, Rat. And you are doing holy work. By killing those creatures back there, by holding against them, you are doing Sigmar's work. By waking up every morning and knowing that it is your divine duty to hunt out the heretics, you are following Sigmar's will. There are many hard things that we have to do, Rat. This is only the beginning of them. You must hold steadfast. Let me tell you a story. When I was young, I lived in a little village, not in Altdorf, just outside of it. And the people there, strange. They were not unlike the ones in this area here. The kind of folk who would allow mutants to live in their own hovels, who would practice strange witchcraft under the moons of Morsalib. And I was gifted a vision by Sigmar. He came to me in a dream. He said, Matthias, you must do what is right, not what is easy. So I took my father's sword that hung above his bed, and I used it and did the good work. It was not easy, but what they were doing was wrong. Evil incarnate. The villagers there, I laid them prostrate before Sigmar, and the village burned. My mother and father, too, they cried out for mercy, but I knew in my heart it was not the wrong thing to do. It was not the easy thing to do. The trials that you have faced so far are merely the beginning of how Sigmar will test us.
I kind of nods. Maybe Sigmar I've never really gotten anything before. I've had to kind of scrounge for everything that I've had. I guess the two things I've been given are mullet and you came into my life and everything kind of changed. So maybe Sigmar's gift to me was you.
He kind of just walks over to you and kind of taps you on the shoulder, just to say thank you. This is what he needed.
Perhaps all right.
We'll get them next time, Matthias. We'll get them, I promise.
We will. This is what small heresies lead to. Whole villages burned. Perhaps now you know why there is no leniency.
I'll be better, I promise. I'll make you proud, Matthias. I'll make Sigmar proud.
Yeah, they say it at the same time. And he, corner of his mouth twitches of a smile.
And Rat kind of just sits. Yeah, Rat sits on a chair and just kind of spends the day basking in Matthias again. His faith renewed in him. More than anything, and I think that's where Rat's faith is. It's in Matthias as a man, not Sigmar. He's never really felt Sigmar, but he believes in Matthias.
Sigmar is convinced that what Rat saw was Sigmar because he's convinced that only Sigmar would show himself. So. Oh, you're muted, Jim.
In the castle, Altamon spends sometimes he peers in and out. He seems to pace. None of you are sure he slept. As whatever, I guess maybe Nora, you said you were inside of the same room with him, propped up, kind of half keeping an eye on him, half snoozing. You're not sure that he slept either. He just sat in a chair staring out the window. The dwarves sort of tend to themselves, but the non-wounded ones spend a lot of the afternoon. Sounds like they're practicing down in the dungeons. They're fighting, sparring, or something. Ottokar spends most of the day on watch in the tower, keeping a lookout for the party members that have left the castle. And Ottilia, along with, I don't know if there's anyone else left, just sort of helps out as needed and tends to her religious duties. Alero, you left the castle first, and you climb down the tower. There's a lot of like shrubbery and bushes at the base of the tower there, and you are now in the village of Obelheim. It stinks. It smells of smoke and blood and just carnage.
Yes. Okay. Well, in that case, Alero will, as quietly and using the smoke as cover and anything else that she can, make haste to the inn.
Okay. You pass through the area with the blacksmith, through the inner gates, and down a small dirt path. Now that you're down in here, you get a better view. Almost everything on the north side of the village was just burned, and is just sort of like the blackened skeleton of the buildings. And like there is a mass of bodies, both beastmen and villager, that are just left out in the streets. And Alero, as you come down, you can see that all manner of stray dogs, cats, birds, and the like are eating the bodies as you come out. The inn has suffered some fire damage, but the stables look intact.
Okay. She will ruminate on the cycle and violence of life as it continues the next day, and continue to the inn stables as quickly and quietly as possible, in hopes that Sophia didn't asphyxiate in an enclosed area with all the smoke.
Right. The stables were sort of furthest away from where the fires were, and so you don't really catch a lot of damage or any smoke damage or anything. Getting in there, you can see that some of the horses have injured themselves trying to escape, but Sophia is fine in her stall.
Okay. Yes, I will pull out an apple and feed it to her. telling her to be quiet and calm as I saddle up and put all my stuff on there, and get her ready to ride. Now, I need to head to the east, right?
North gate.
Oh, the north gate. Oh, joy. Okay. Well, in that case, once she's saddled up and ready to go, then I will ask Sophia to emulate the wind and take me.
Okay. Riding through the village, you're struck by the odd behavior of the animals. They do not get out of the way of Sophia at all. And she, doesn't want to trample on them, but birds don't fly away from their feasting. Cats and dogs eating the same body together, not scurrying away as your horse draws closer to them.
That is odd. A great hunger has overwhelmed these beasts.
Okay. Make me a perception check real quick.
Is this sight or just normal?
Sight.
All right. And I failed again by 1 degree of success. Or 1 degree.
So as the drawbridge lowers and Yidris and Nora walk out of it, you see Alero passing through the north gate on Sophia. And that's kind of where we'll go. We'll get back to Alero in just a second. I want to see what Yidris and Nora do on their way to gather herbs.
Rat does have an extra wild magic surge as well from Gaming Din, who says that there's at least a 1 in 500 chance of Rat getting an eye back.
All right. That was
130.
I don't know if I believe that math. But
I
don't know.
You want to do these guys while we're looking this one up?
okay.
Or you know.
Yeah, so Yidris and Nora, you walk out from the drawbridge and see much the same thing. You see a village with bodies strewn around the central area, both Beastman, there's still the body of the Minotaur that's there, and all sorts of animals are feasting on the bodies as you walk out from the drawbridge.
I'd say Nora pays almost no attention to the bodies and just steps over them. She's got her eye on where she's going and just keeps going, but every now and then, like, checking mullets close to her.
Okay. And
Idris will have her flail in hand and just be taking in the scene, very wary of the movement, just in case, anyone is out here waiting to ambush us. They may have let Alara go. Alara was on a horse, but we're just walking through. But she very much follows Nora's path. She wants to get, out and back as quick as possible, really.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are going out the south or the east gate?
Which one is closer?
From where you're at, they're both, like, from the central area of the village, they're both equally close. The south gate leads to a more heavily forested area. The east gate, it's less, the tree cover is less dense.
Well, we know that most of the trouble came from the south last night and it moved up and around us.
Yeah.
Nora looks at Yidris, just like, well, which way?
All we've heard since we've arrived here is that eastward is where the Tala lights are and the troubles that they carry with them. Last night the beasts came from the south. Let's
So
go
we're
east.
screwed either way we go.
Pretty much, Nora.
East it is, and then she just keeps walking.
Keeps walking. So all three of you, as you leave the immediate confines of Obelheim, the fields that surround this area, the farmsteads and the like, are dotted with grisly trophies of the villagers who have been drawn up on makeshift gibbets and scaffolding, impaled on spikes and the like. And they stand like scarecrows in the fields as you travel both north and east out of Obelheim. Now, I'd like to come back to Alero real quick. We don't have any outstanding wild magic surges that I missed, do we?
It's just that Rat is tightly bound in strong wire. I don't think Matthias does this to him.
Yeah, I said at some point, like maybe Ottilia comes across Rat and he's tightly bound to the wire. He's like, what happened?
What if Rat on his new feet trips down the stairs and gets caught in some wire and just?
Yeah.
Imagine someone walks in the room and I'm like,
it happened again.
It happened.
I would probably be poking around the castle here, so I imagine I'd fall into something or other. But you can come back to that.
Shenanigans. Alero, you're traveling north, right? The sun, as you leave the immediate area of Obelheim, the sun sort of warms your face as it breaks over the treetops, and you're maybe 30 minutes out from Obelheim when you see two riders approaching you from the other direction. Their silhouettes against the sky mark them as road wardens. They're wearing the distinctive hat and overcoat of road wardens.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, she will let her naivete kind of get the better of her and go ahead and ride towards them, like out in the open. Not yelling or calling to them, but she will continue to head towards them.
Okay. You get close. You recognize one of them as Sergeant Herman. You don't really recognize the other, but it's two of them.
Sir Herman. Oh, I must get to the what was the guy I was actually heading to?
Markgraf Vigmar.
Markgraf. I couldn't remember the Markgraf. Yeah. Sorry. Let's get to the Markgraf. This Obelheim has been destroyed. It's terrible.
Yes. Just I'm distracted now. Herman pulls his reins up as you're riding and yelling your warning. Hold, Alero. We saw the smoke last night obscuring the moons.
Yes, I fear that the Bray Herd, the Beastmen have come. They burned Obelheim. They drove the villagers into the woods and slaughtered them. Matthias has been gravely injured. I must get this to the Markgraf. You must send reinforcements at once.
If you hurry, he will return from his goblin hunt sometime around lunch. You will find him in Bedau.
Yes, I will make haste, but you will find, if you are headed there, look for Matthias. He is injured. He is there. Luck be with you.
Yeah, they race off. The two of you in opposite directions there. And let's see. So we have a donation, yes?
That's right. Let's see. Biohazard has donated to give Alero the red handle of the Scarlet Bow, which is a cursed magic item. Now, this may be a new bow, or this may be something which is affecting Alero's current bow, because it is filled with chaos magic, most likely. I've sent you the description of that, Jim, but it's basically not good.
All right. I'm gonna give me just a moment. Tell me how Alero rides northward and what she sees on her way, Pruitt, as I read this real quick.
Aside from her impending doom, she will definitely keep her eyes out. At the first sign of any kind of movement or anything, she will pull Sophia off the road and hide or look to see what it is. But I mean, she's on absolute full alert. But also riding full speed down the road. But haste is the most important thing.
All right. You see all sorts of these trophies along the road, and there's barely a mile that goes by where you don't see two or three of them. It looks like whoever fled here after last night's raid were just like butchered along the sides of the road and the woods nearby. Of course, this road sort of runs through a lightly wooded area, so there's lots of open spaces, lots of fields, and the like as you head north towards Badao. Want to get back to Yidris and Nora real quick as they travel out eastward. It's not very far until you get to the forest, but I'd like for you both to make me perception tests real quick.
Perception tests.
Jim, we do actually have a viewer decision at this point as well.
Sweet.
Keep throwing shit at you.
I failed. Of course.
Same though.
Same. Hard same. I'm curious as who else survived last night's attack. As for a viewer decision, who else survived last night's attack that might seek refuge in the place? So Nora and Yidris are sort of keeping an eye out, but it's hazy, right? There's smoke and ash that's falling. It makes anything based on sight difficult to spot. And of course, there's these grisly sort of scarecrows now out in the fields that keep throwing you off. But as you get into the woods and underneath the trees and the shadows underneath the boughs of them, there's a stillness to the forest that you both kind of immediately pick up on. And you don't hear any birds chirping, no branches rustling as little critters scurry about. It's just a still forest that you enter into.
Can Nora draw her axe just because she doesn't trust anything in this area?
Yes.
And she
How about,
slowly
Yidris?
continues to walk forward, but slower than before.
Okay. And Yidris?
She kind of moves into like a slightly flanked position from Nora, so they have good eyesight on each other, but they're not walking like dead next to each other, just to try and get some coverage. Because there's that feeling like when something is this quiet, something else is watching. So she's not happy.
Gotcha. Why don't
Still
you?
got her flail out, so.
Have you guys both make me outdoor survival rolls? I know that you're not trained in them, but it is a common skill, so you can use. You'll be rolling at half your ability for that.
Fail.
That was close.
Was close.
That was not.
Can I use a fate point and a fortune point to reroll it?
Yeah.
Yes. Because I remember how those work now.
Hey, sweet. All right. So it's actually not very far into the forest that Yidris spots a tuft of these thistle-like plants, exactly as Autocar describes. You're maybe 60 yards into the woods whenever you find this plant. Nora finds one, but she stepped on it and crushed all the thistles.
She just sort of looks underneath her foot and then stands on it again to hide that she's stamped on it by accident.
Yeah.
And sort of puts her finger up to her mouth so that Mullet won't make any noise.
Right. Yeah, Mullet's kind of on edge in here. He's, you've seen him happy and relaxed and nice dog, but he's very sticking close to you, and seems really scared while you're out here.
Nora just every now and then just scratches him behind the ear as a reassurance to herself and Mullet, not just to make him feel better, but having him there is almost as an extra.
Yidris takes one of the knives that's always kind of in the leather band across her armor and just cuts the bits of the thistle that are needed and secures them, trying to work as quickly as possible and looking around for the valerian flowers.
Okay. That's going to require a separate outdoor survival roll.
step on this one.
I've been bad in a group chat.
Yeah, someone's being bad. Oh, so close. Again, Nora kind of stumbles into some of them as she's wandering around. But the flowers are kind of everywhere in little patches of dappled sunlight across the forest floor. And it's just a matter of finding an untrampled patch at this point. So go ahead and make me one more outdoor survival. This is just to determine how long it takes you to find them. You will eventually find them. Oh my god.
1.
Wow.
Right there.
All right. Right over there, actually. So, yeah, you guys are in the woods for maybe an hour. And while you're there, you see all sorts of other trophies left by the Beastmen. You see villagers nailed to trees. You see villagers that appear as though the trees have grown up through them, as if impaled on like a sapling or something, as well as villagers who have just been absolutely butchered, like with cleavers and the like.
If Yidra sees any that would be fairly easy to pull down, she's just going to pull them down. She's not having this heresy displayed like this.
Looking at it, every one of them you see, like if you come close to it, there are creatures of the forest that are eating the bodies. Squirrels, chipmunks, wolves, badgers, all sorts of forest animals are just feasting on the bodies of the villagers.
She'll kick a spell to get that body down. She's not above it.
You gotta like pick it up and hurl it. You just, I mean, they will let you. They don't flee at all as you get close to them. You could just pick them up.
Alright, so I think like she'll probably
Yidris and Nora, by the way.
Alright.
She'll probably manage to get like one down, having gone through the hassle of getting the animals out of the way. And then kind of look at Nora and be like freaked out by these animals acting so strangely and the woods creeping in. And we should get back to the castle. We have what we think for.
Nora just wrinkles her nose at all of this, not really touching him. She's like, I think I'd quite like to go now. Man's just sort of looking around and looking at Mullet, almost using him as an excuse to leave.
Okay. After you do a wild magic surge, give me a perception test as well. And so we got...
So what will Nora disgorge next is the weekly Wednesday game?
Ooh, that was a high... Fraser has got high ones.
Ooh. Nora.
And perception.
Oh my god, this is amazing! Nora, someone nearby is revealed to be of demonic heritage.
Well, as long as I'm not throwing it up, I don't mind.
You vomit on it and like hell itself screams back.
Yeah, okay.
It's
and
mud.
for Yidris... oh my god.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
Yidris is... half a ton of iron filings spray from the target point. Half a ton of iron filings.
Is that my punishment for ripping that body down?
Yes, actually, I like that. Yeah, you go to pull out the nails, these crudely made nails that have that they've used to nail the villager up to this tree, and as you pull it out of the tree, a spray of iron filings comes out of the tree hole and just like momentarily dazzles and bewilders the two of you when Mullet starts barking, and Nora just, you can feel the hairs on the back of your neck stand up as you sense some sort of presence. I'm gonna need the three of us to roll initiative.
Right, but I didn't get hit in the face or anything with those iron filings, right?
I'm going to
Mullet
say
get
you're
initiative?
momentarily blind.
Okay.
As you're
Can
just...
we roll initiative again?
Yeah, so let's just...
Oh wait,
It's in your
combat.
combat
That's the thing,
In the combat tab.
It's in the
Yeah.
combat section.
Can Mullet get initiative?
Mullet can sure get initiative.
No, he's not allowed to fight. He's precious.
He is surviving this. So we're not having...
Oh my
Look,
god!
we were trusted with the dog. We got to bring him back alive.
So we've got Nora first, then myself, and then Yidris, and then follow-up is Mullet. Now, all of this happens at once, right? And there's, like I said, there's otherwise no sound or anything in these woods. And Nora, you kind of I guess, turn your head at the last second, and there is a full-on Goatman, Beastman sort of right in front of you. There's a sweeping horns curling down around its head, a great big long snout with fangs, and it's wielding just a big fuck-off axe that it's swinging right at you. But you get the drop on it. I used a crit for my stealth, by the way. That's how it got close to you.
Nice.
Okay. Nora literally seeing this in with a split second, so does she duck out of the way of this swing, or?
You can. There is there's two options here. You can go full defense, which will give me a penalty to attack you, or you can use a half action to enter a parry stance, which will give you a parry to sort of use against any attack that it's going to make against you. But then you'd still have a half action to do something else like attack or something. You said you already had your axe out, so you're battle ready.
Yeah. Okay, I think she will go straight into parry. Oh dear.
Okay, so that's your parry for the first attempt.
So can she then go straight into attack from that, or does she have to parry again?
You don't have to parry until I attack you, so you didn't need to roll anything just yet.
Oh, I see.
If you want to make an attack, you can, and then you'll have a parry left over.
Okay, she literally just takes the axe and instinctively swings it round behind her. Oh my god.
Just swing wild as this thing comes upon you, and so you've got a parry, and I do believe Nora has a dodge as well. Now you can't use both on the same attack, but you do have some more options. Say two of them are attacking. I am going to make my attack against Nora, and that is a 27. Where does that hit you? 72 is body. And here we go. Where's my... Oh no. Just a second, guys.
Oh, good. Still need to roll damage.
Oh yeah, we don't need to roll damage, do we? I need to just fix this real quick.
Oh, good.
No one needs any damage rolled.
I have a question about damage, actually, because I had 2 wounds from the battle. Does one heal overnight, or is it a longer time, slightly wounded?
One heals overnight.
Okay.
You can use the heal skill to get rid of the other one. So that is going to be 15 damage to Nora's chest.
Ooh, nice. I felt that.
You've got 8 armor.
Wounds. So 6 wounds, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're meant to be healing up here, guys.
Wait, how much armor do you have? 8?
Yeah.
8 armor.
7.
That was my go. So it's now Yidris' turn.
So Yidris is gonna, I guess, have to use half an action to try and clear the dazzle from her eyes. And then she's gonna see the beast creature thing on Nora and just move up to try and get a good position and just swing with the flail.
Alright, so you both have plus 10% to hit it.
Alright.
Now that you're both fighting it.
Yeah. So that's a hit.
There you go. 22. Nice.
And swing.
Right arm. Boom.
12.
And that's
The right arm.
12. You hit it in its arm. It's sort of it's got makeshift armor on, old rusted chainmail over just maybe rags or scrap leather of some kind. It hits and it seems lightly wounded. Now, that was your 2 actions. Is Mullet doing anything? What is Mullet doing?
Yeah, so as soon as Mullet has seen Nora get hit, because Nora's his favourite, he's going to do a jumping bite, try and bite the back of his leg or something.
Okay.
Here goes.
He's 20% now that there's 3 of them.
Yeah, he's got a plus 20% because there's now 3 of you fighting him.
Still a miss. I needed 45, not 57. Wait, does Mullet have any fate points?
Mullet has 1 fate point.
Okay, I will use this fate point. Mullet's gonna go free. Come on.
Mullet, please.
Oh, God. Mullet just kind of growls angrily at this thing, kind of barking his tail up in the air, his ears pricked, but not doing any damage.
All right, Nora, it's your turn.
Okay, sort of panicking because Mullet is now jumped it. She just full-blown swings her axe again.
All right, you got plus 20 to hit with it.
Nora.
Oh my god, oh.
Well, I mean, would she not get plus 30 also? Because there's technically 3 combatants?
I don't know that that's how it works, Pruitt. I think...
I tried. I passed. I failed.
How many
my
attacks does Nora have?
I think just... Oh, no, she has 2. She has 2, I think. Correct?
You know, you forgot to dodge or parry that last attack from last round. Just FYI. So what do you do with your other half action?
I'm
attacking.
This is how we die. Go out to get her. Get fucking her.
All right. This thing's surrounded. It is going to actually turn its attention towards Yidris, because Yidris actually hit it last time. And it's going to miss with its first attack. How many attacks? I only get 1 attack. And then it looks like it's kind of readying to parry your next attack. Sort of grabs its axe and a wide grip, and it's all that business. So it is now Yidris' turn.
She is going to go in with a double flail fail. Hopefully not, actually. Double flail. Yes. So...
All right.
Oh, that went off. That was a 9. So
it's like when you roll off the table.
I missed it, yeah. Come back. So that'd be a hit. Yep.
That's a hit. 5 is body. Or no, 55 is left arm.
Come on. 14.
All right.
Yeah.
And then swing number 2. That's a hit.
That's a hit.
Not that one. That one. That's a 15.
All right. So your first attack hits it on the left arm, and you sort of batter it about. And your second one comes down and hits it square in the chest. Armor reduces that to, let's see real quick, 6. That's a level 4 crit to the chest. I'm going to need you to roll me a D100, Chris.
Yes. 81.
81. All right, it's a level 1. So your flail catches the Beastigore in its belly, momentarily winding him, sort of like knocking him a step back. It looks like he's temporarily stunned at the moment and won't be able to take a full round's worth of actions next. It is Mullet's turn.
Just like, right, as a reaction, can I say something?
Yep.
Nora, take Mullet and run. I'll catch up with you. And she's like readying her flail for some more swinging.
Nora just shakes her head at that.
Mullet breaks the awkward silence between them two by launching itself at the beast again.
Mullet, no!
Hey!
That hits. Okay, so I will say this, like, Mullet has got its goat hoof ankle in his mouth and is like dragging and pulling. So it will give you a plus 30 to hit.
Are we going to say it does any damage, or are you just going to give it that bit?
He's not. He's more for killing rats than giant beasts.
He's grappling.
He gives them an extra
you
plus
doubt
10
Mullet more than I do. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, Nora.
Yeah,
I don't
Nora,
doubt Mullet.
seeing this, just takes this opportunity and prays that she can actually hit.
Come on, Nora. Come on.
That's a hit.
Yeah,
That's a hit.
hit.
Right leg.
Yes.
10 damage. All right, here we go. Go ahead and roll me another D100 roll. as you bring your axe down on its right leg.
Hoof and mouth disease, very good.
Right.
43.
That was a 43. Ooh, this one might be bad.
That's Nora. Get it?
You bring that. Nora brings her axe in low, and it severs the Beastman's leg mid-calf. It sort of falls down immediately, one of its sort of goat legs kicking and spurting blood all over the Nora and the ground. It's not dead, and it's just sort of like kicking as it loses its hoof. You have an extra attack, right?
That's a good point. Okay, so does it fall over at all, or is it literally just stumbling?
It's on the ground now.
Okay, then I just swing down and try and do whatever I can to it. Yep. That's a hit.
Sweet. Yes! Ooh, that's a fury.
Yes!
So you go ahead and roll me just 1d10 extra for the damage. That's awesome. That was that. 6, that's the body. 19 damage. All right. This is like a killing blow.
As it
Nora killed his
falls
Beastman.
over and it trips, and Mullet's like pulling on the leg, I use this opportunity literally just to behead it where it is.
All right. Nora beheads the Bestigor Beastman, and you're still like lightly wounded, right? But your chest is already just sore from where it cleaved itself right into you. The woods fall silent as the sounds of battle die down. Nora's axe cleaves the Beastman's head from its shoulders.
Okay, she's sort of breathing heavily from being hit, and she just sort of slaps Idris on the back as in like and nodding like a thank you, and then just walks up to this beast's head and boots it away.
Okay. So you have your herbs, and you have you're alive. I'm guessing you're heading back.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't bring my portable pyre gear, so
You just leave it where it falls.
Yep.
Okay.
Get the fuck out.
Right. Let's get back to the keep. And by now it's been at least an hour or more, sort of like we're getting on into mid-morning and sort of early afternoonish time for everybody. How have you passed the time? At some point, road wardens arrive and seek entrance.
I've been teaching Rat Sigmar's holy texts, basically. So, like, Rat probably has an understanding of what Sigmar is, but, like, Matthias is going through all the tales of how he, was Sigmar's, like, farmer's boy that defeated the Ever-Chosen. So he's telling, basically, the story of Jesus Christ, but to Rat. When the road wardens arrive, Matthias would love to see them immediately. And Rat's probably still in the room at this point.
Yeah, they actually ride up to the gates, and Autocar lowers the drawbridge to let them in. And it's Sergeant Scheuermann, Hermann Scheuermann, and another unidentified road warden. And you get up and go meet them in the courtyard?
Can I walk?
I'll bring them to you, Matthias.
So Matthias has a wound that's has like you're at what did I say it was like you have a penalty to your agility, your weapon skill, your ballistic skill, and your strength for 3 days. So you can walk with a cane or with someone's assistance.
Okay.
It's just 3 days before you're in fighting shape.
I've definitely got a cane. That's definitely a thing. Yeah, like taps in true villainous style. I'm imagining myself a little bit like Blind Pierre from Muppet Treasure Island at the moment. In case there's something burning. So I'm gonna hobble along, probably with a bit of support from Rat as well.
And Sergeant Scheuermann sees you and is just like, "Whoa." Greetings, Matthias, witch hunters. We ran into your elf, Alero, on the road.
Good.
This is a grisly mess.
Yes, it is indeed. Thank you for coming so swiftly. Do you have any word of northwards? Any sign of Beastman up there?
All along the road, they've left their trophies like a sacrifice or an offering. Not quite as far north as Badao, but we didn't see any, just their handiwork.
I see. Well, how much did Alero tell you?
Only that a herd of them attacked the village and overrun, and that you and Rat were wounded.
They were only the forerunners. Our wounds will heal soon enough. Our companions Idris and Nora have been journeyed into the woods to find some additional herbs. They should be returning shortly.
And he, like, you know, he gives you the same sort of story about riding in that I told to Idris Lair. Like, the animals are all acting strange. It's been a long time since we've had a Beastman attack. No one that I know has ever witnessed one.
Tell me, Herr Scheumann, do you think that the Markgraf will answer our call?
Should hope so. He is old family from this area and would wish to, I should hope, protect his vassals, subjects. But I do not know him. I'm not from here, so I do not know his character.
Well, that as well. At the very least, hopefully it will, the Beastman moving into this area will see away any of your Bretonnian vagabonds, they should flee.
I hope so. Make our job easier for us. And he turns to his other road warden and basically tells him to stable Scheuermann's horse, and the other road warden is going to ride for Leshka, which is the road warden headquarters along the old road. Scheuermann, this takes like maybe 30 minutes or so for them to get all ready. It might take many days to get back, at least 3 to get there, and then some time to assemble the road wardens. But Beastmen that can do this is a grave threat.
Right. There were only the forerunners. There were the Ungors, but the Bestigors were behind them, moving through the woods with their great horns. A Minotaur led them, though it is defeated now by Alero's hand. The exact numbers we do not know, but they must be in their hundreds.
Seems that way.
If you are to bring forces, then I would suggest bringing them to Barvold Keep. That is the most defensible location around here, and I can only assume where they will seek to break us.
And he nods to his second man, Aldo. Aldo, take word of this, and he has you affix your seal to the missive that he sends with Aldo. And ride hard for Leshka. Do not stop. And find us at Bearvold Keep. And with that, Herman joins the company as additional guard and watch in the keep. Although he does spend some time out in the village with Ottokar, the two of them look like they go out and just sort of inspect the village and the like. And by the time they return, they've got someone with them that they are bringing in. They've got her cloaked and covered, but it appears as though it's a small child or girl.
I will go with Rat over towards where Herr Scheumann and his men are bringing the child in. Let's a survivor.
You see Scheuermann approach you first as Ottokar has it. Matthias, the child is touched by chaos. She, family lived here in the village. We talked to her and she survived the attack, but is terrified.
Let me see the child.
Mm-hmm. And you see she's got... Let me see real quick. I'm curious what sort of mutation she has.
Is it the getting burned kind?
The getting burned mutation.
It's really weird. There's a sword for your heart.
Matthias is holding the hand.
Curious mutation that you have.
Let me see here. Oh, where's my mutation table? 66. I can't find it. She's got a third eye in the wrinkle of her forehead. Her bangs kind of cover it up, and you can tell that she's had her hair, arranged to cover it up. But she opens it, and it sort of winks open before she kind of closes it and brushes her hair back in place.
I look at the child and say, "Child, who are your parents? Are they alive?"
Not anymore. They
What is your
died
name?
last night. My name is Yaslin.
How old is this girl?
She looks to be about 11.
You were born with this, and I touch her forehead just the same way that Sigma in our vision touched our foreheads, which Matthias takes to be a sign, which is... Yeah, so he kind of just places... How long have you had this? Does it see?
All my life. I can see out of it, yes.
What do you see?
I see
This
strange
world?
colors.
Mm.
I do not look very often. And she's not even meeting your gaze with her, regular eyes.
I see. And in my... Again, in my professional opinion... is this like... we talked about getting to the heart of someone. This seems pretty integral, at least to a brain. To Matthias, is this what he would assume is too far gone?
I mean, she's not a slavering, savage mutant. She seems quite terrified. And otherwise, apart from the physical, the extra eye, seems like a perfectly normal child with perfectly normal reactions to the situation.
I say, it seems as though the gods of chaos spared you. It's curious to me. They killed the others, the faithful worshippers of Sigmar, and yet you survive.
I hid.
You have an extra eye to see all sorts of things. Perhaps you saw them coming. My companion here, faithful to Sigmar, lost his eye.
No, and she's just sort of stammers, and I didn't know. And she breaks down in tears. I saw the colors before they came, and I hid. I knew what it meant. And she just starts sobbing, and all three of her eyes begin to cry.
I turn to Rat. The gods of chaos speak to her. Protect her.
Rat he just nods. He knows what Matthias needs to do. But he kind of walks to the girl and kind of takes her hand. Tell me your name. And Rat's going to try and turn her away from Matthias. Just so she's facing me and not him.
Okay.
Tell me your name.
It's Yaslin.
And tell me about the colours. What did they look like?
She just goes on. Some of them are bright green. It falls like rain from the sky. Another's a chestnut brown that covers the land like a fog. And she just goes on and just describes all these sort of like brilliant blues that leap across the night sky. Reds
Matthias, as she's talking, he takes out the pistol, one of his pistols from the bandolier, and he looks at Rat and says, "What did Sigmar do to the heretic, Rat?" And I hold out the pistol handle first to Rat so that he can take it.
Rat's shaking hand grasps the pistol.
You don't need to be scared. Sigmar's a good person. You'll be with him soon.
And Rat kind of really, like, this pistol is shaking all over the place, and he's raising it and he's trying to look at this girl. And his eyes just glance to Matthias one last time, and staring Matthias with his one good eye, pulls the trigger.
I take back the smoking pistol.
Yeah.
All right.
Rat immediately kind of moves away and starts to vomit.
Alero's on the road.
Yep.
There you go.
Shit. Just enjoying a beautiful country day.
Alero by herself, no Beastmen, no murdered children. Is on the road. And after you get about midday, you no longer see any of the trophies or anything. Now, you don't see a lot of the people out in the fields like you did yesterday as you were coming this way. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of people tending the fields and doing that. Like, people seem to be indoors. And as you get to Badao, close to midday, you can hear a great big commotion coming in. You kind of ride up the hill as fast as you can. The gates are open. You can tell there's a large crowd that's gathered on the inside, where you were, I guess, like yesterday morning, in front of the inn there.
Okay. Yes, I will immediately roll in there and like throw my hood off and make sure my witch hunter's badge is prominently displayed, and reach in and grab the letter, and flip a coin to like a stable boy or something. Like, please make sure she is fed and ready to go as soon as I can leave. And
yes.
And immediately head to where the Markgraf would be. She doesn't know if he's back yet or not, but
it looks as though he's back. There is a great big crowd that's gathered out in front of the inn in a similar way. They've got, actually, as you kind of move through it, you can see sort of what they're crowded around. And they appear to be crowded around a gaggle of goblins that are strung up and on display as sort of trophies from Big Mar's hunt. And the village is sort of oohing and awing and jeering and sort of, doing all sorts of rude things like throwing rotten vegetables at their goblin bodies, that kind of thing. And it looks as though you can see Vigmar's horse from the barding on it outside, and it looks as though they might be in the inn.
Okay. So yes, about what time of day is it?
It's lunchtime. Midday.
And what time did I wake up?
Early morning, like sunrise.
Okay.
You're looking to see how many 17 hours of what you do or don't remember.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, part of me really wants to like have the letter in hand, and she's walking up. Oh, he's in the inn, and I kick the door open.
Yeah, I think so too.
And Alero like looks around like confused. Matthias? Nora, Idris? And like she looks down at her hand holding this letter and sees Matthias's like stamp. Mm-hmm. And what has happened? Where are they? Because last she remembers, we were on the road heading into Obelheim, and we had just seen the guy in the mask off to the right.
Right.
And it was nighttime. And
Correct.
So she'll slowly kind of walk towards Vigmar, because he is the authority figure.
Uh-huh.
And, I mean, she's carried enough notes for Matthias, but... Markgraf?
Yes. Join us. Witch Hunter.
We are... This is Badal.
Yes. Are you?
But we left.
Seem confused.
I do not know what has happened. I have a letter.
Well, give it here.
Yes, of course. And she'll like slowly hand it over, because she knows what happens when you read Matthias's letters.
Mm-hmm.
She saw what he did to a page boy a couple years ago.
Markgraf Vigmar takes it and cracks the seal on it, reads it in his face, sort of hands it to his sergeant at arms, who was present last time and is with him now. And he similarly sort of reads it and gets a look of concern and worry comes across his face. We saw smoke on the horizons, but no one was sure what had happened. We only just arrived ourselves here.
Smoke where?
From Obelheim.
Obelheim?
To the south there. And he gestures out the window.
And she turns and looks like, but that is where we were headed.
Yes, yesterday, whenever we last spoke, you were headed to Obelheim. I assumed that you were went there and you were present for this attack that your Matthias mentions.
I cannot say. She looks down like I am not injured. I cannot say what. I fear that chaos is afoot. My dear Markgraf, I remember being outside of Obelheim. I don't... Oh my god. I must leave at once. What does the letter say? There was attacked?
And he sort of takes it from his sergeant at arms and hands it to Alero. Turn while you read
over it.
Mm-hmm. He turns to the sergeant at arms and says, "Volka, take 10 of the men and see if you can secure Obelheim. I will be at the keep, gathering the rest of our men. And it's going to be a while before they're ready, but their sergeant at arms looks like they're traveling to Obelheim as well."
Okay, well, as soon as Alero finishes reading the letter, she just almost throws it at the Markgraf and bolts out the door and looks around and starts yelling, "Sophia!" and whistles for her horse, and immediately will mount up and head to Obelheim, pushing her horse as hard as she can.
Okay, let's see here real quick. I'm going to need you to make definitely a ride test, as well as an animal care test.
Which would you like to place?
Let me give you the ride. You're a pretty skilled rider, and the road is rather gentle, so there's no penalty. But the animal care is going to be challenging, so that's -10.
I got a 10 on the ride.
10. All right, it's 10. All right,
and then animal care. Ooh, that's a big old fail.
I
know what's about to happen.
Yeah, I think you're about to have never-ending story moment with Sophia.
You told this in session 1. No, not Sophia.
Come on, give it to me, Jim Davis. What happens?
Nothing happens to you on the road, but Sophia has been pushed hard today and spent the night in a smoke-filled stables. And by the end of Alero's trip, within sight of Obelheim, as the day is drawing to its close, Sophia gives up her last, and with about less than a mile to go, collapses along the side of the road for Alero.
Okay. So Alero will kind of tumble to the ground as Sophia drops, and she will like clamber back and no, be still, Sophia, sweet sister, be still. And she will shed a single tear and then turn on heel and run full speed.
So during this intervening period, we have a half a day to cover with what's going on. Yidris and Nora are headed back from the woods with Mullet, and I need both of you to make me another perception tests.
Yeah, we're gonna hear this gunshot, aren't we?
Okay. At some point you do hear
Andre Matthias has finally called Rat.
I fail again.
Oh no, Nora.
I'm just not a perceptive person.
7.
Nice. Yidris, you guys are on, the two of you are on the edge of the forest walking back into Obelheim. And there is a shot that rings out that you can indeed hear. And from the fields where you are, something stands up and looks in the direction of the castle. From where you're at, it's difficult to tell how tall it is, but it appears very tall. Red-skinned, seemingly metallic-skinned, with long, lanky limbs, and an elongated head with a crown of curving horns that kind of comes up around it. It looks like it was doing something with one of the corpses, because there's a headless body in one of its clawed hands, and then in its other hand, it's got the head of one of these villagers. And it sort of like hears the gunshot, tosses aside the body, and begins to sort of like get down on all fours and slowly lope towards the keep.
Okay, so does just Yidris see this, or?
Yidris sees this, yes.
Okay, so Nora is still walking and now wanting to get towards the gunshot.
Okay. What do y'all do? Looks like Nora's still walking.
Does Yidris have any idea what this thing is that she's just seen?
Let's see. Do you have academic knowledge demonology? I don't think so. Yeah, it's a demon. It's pretty clearly a demon.
A shiny
Yidris
demon.
Yeah, Yidris would know it as a demon.
How far? I was so like enraptured with the demon description. How far away was it?
It was about 50 yards away from where you were,
right.
But its back was towards you.
Alright, so Yidris is gonna like sidestep and stop Nora from moving forward so that she can signal silently towards where the creature was, in the hope that Nora's gonna see it.
Like, we need to keep moving, and then as she turns and looks, she stops. And again, just watches where this creature is going.
Yeah, it's heading back through the east gate. That's where it's going. It's about halfway there.
Can we outrun it? I mean, I've only got little legs, but...
It's got 50 yards on you, and it appears to be moving very quickly.
Okay.
It's going to the castle. Why else would it be going there? It's going... And, like, Yidris is, like, hardly, like, thinking through as many times as she can.
Nora's like, I don't think it matters why it's going. I think the problem is we gotta stop it. And she just starts walking more hurriedly, but trying to be stealthy as much as Nora can be stealthy.
At which point, you're just gonna look around for as large a rock as she can and like throw it to try and get this demon's attention to come back towards us.
Okay.
Nora's
There's
there.
plenty of rocks around here.
Because Yidris wants to wild goose chase it.
Okay. Then there is a there's plenty of rocks around here. Make me a ballistic skill. Just a ballistics attack. You're trying to just. What?
Nora's looking back at her like.
So she takes the rock and she wants to throw it behind her because she wants the demon to turn towards us. Towards her. Nora's somewhere moving already. And then she'll take off running in the hope that the demon's gonna want to play chase.
Is there long grass here?
Yes, your guys are out in
the woods, right?
You guys are on the edge of the fields. Now, this is early spring, so the fields are not in whatever the fields are whenever there's tall grass in them. I'm not an agriculturalist. I don't know what the word for that is.
Really?
There's not tall grass there, but there's plenty of cover in the woods. Now, you guys are getting a peek at how I play for Pruitt at home. There's plenty of cover inside the woods, though. There's no cover between the woods and the walls of the town.
Idris is really hoping hide and seek as a child is about to pay off.
Right. So if you want, you can attempt to hide. Now, you were throwing the rocks sort of triangular from where, like, you're not throwing it so they look in your direction, but in another direction.
Yes. I just need it to turn back so we can play the game.
Yes, gotcha. Then I need concealment tests from the two of you.
Alright, you gotta get to the castle.
Given the cover,
This is bad.
given the cover, you will have a plus 20 bonus.
Hey, Nora. Success. Oh no.
Ooh.
Oh no.
She's a big lady. She's 6'2". This isn't in her.
Now the smoke in the area does give it a penalty. It's got minus 20 to it. All right.
The silent. Okay, you're fucked.
So there is a this thing hears the noise of where you threw the rock and sort of like looks at the castle, doesn't hear any other noises coming from the castle, but slowly sort of turns its way, and it's sort of walking along on its four limbs across the field, and it's headed towards where your rock was. And it's kind of like sniffing around. As you can see it now, you can look at its face, and it's got a skull-like visage, just a fanged, sharp, angular sort of skull face. And I need both Nora and Yidris to make me willpower tests. This is a fear effect, which you might have talents that affect. I think Nora might have a bonus for
I'm
this.
sorry, Nora.
I'm lying in the long grass.
The worst thing is that we don't have any idea that it's going on, so we can't bring that up.
Well, Ottakar is on lookout.
You might hear something eventually.
Murdered a clown, I'm not looking.
Right. Strong-minded, I think that gives you like a 10%. Ooh, oh, Nora. Ooh.
Yeah.
As this thing...
Use a fortune point to reroll.
Otherwise, you're going to be frozen in fear as this thing, as the terror of this thing takes over. It's not terror, the fear of it. Terror is a very specific thing in Warhammer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do I have to spend, for reroll?
You have as any number of your fate points you can use to re-roll the die if you wish.
Okay, I will.
I think you get a plus 10 bonus for a stout-hearted. That's good.
That's us.
All right. So both of you maintain your wits about you as it stalks towards the edge line of where the trees are. Cutting back to the keep. Rat, I guess you hand the pistol back to Matthias and go off by yourself for a while?
Yeah, he's just openly vomiting in the courtyard for what he's just...
Matthias will slap the, rub his back as he vomits, and be like, that is the poison of heresy coming out of you. Sigmar has emboldened you today. Just like validating murdering children.
Yeah, you guys have a few minutes if we'll talk it out. Autocar will eventually come and run and find you.
I was actually going to say that I'd probably take to the wall just to see where Nora and Yidris were, but that was before the whole demon thing. So,
you were on your way to the wall.
I was already on my way, just concerned for them.
Make it about turn.
Then in that case,
90
Matthias.
degree turn.
In that case, Matthias, you run into Autocar as he's coming from the tower, and he's running full speed where you are. And as soon as he gets on the battlement, there's a demon in the field east of here. Yidris and Nora came across it.
Matthias is like, come and open the gate. And call
Did they wheel this girl in on a cart? Did you say? Was she in a cart, or did they carry her?
They were sort of like helping her in. It wasn't on a cart. She was walking at the time. So let's see. So you shout out, lower the drawbridge.
Yeah. Lower the gate. And I call up any of Herr Scheuman's road wardens to me.
Mm-hmm. Aldo is now. He's just. Actually, I think this is probably after Aldo has left. So Scheuermann is here. Autocar is here. Maingold Altman with his milky eye and one arm comes out of the central keep and is just like, you can see that there's no way you're going to keep him away from whatever it is that's out there.
If Schweinman said that they were out there fighting it alone, no, I don't think Matthias wouldn't. Would he know that they're like interested in sound? Maybe I could distract him by firing another pistol. Or maybe
that's quite possible. I mean, you know that they have senses. They create bodies for themselves whenever they enter the world that have senses, even though their bodies work much differently than yours do.
So if you think it's reasonable enough, I would fire a second pistol up and kind of shout out, "Demon!"
All right. Okay. There is back at the tree line. This thing is sort of sniffing around where the rock is. It's on all fours. It's skull face close to the ground. And now that you're closer to it, you can see that part of the red is like its metallic skin, but it is also covered in gore and viscera and has looped entrails and all sorts of other things around its horns and neck like garlands. And as it's scanning and looking for right in direction of where Yidris is, it hears the pistol shot and snaps its head back around to where the keep's at. And I think we have a wild magic surge to handle for Yidris.
That is for Yidris from Catalyst Creations.
God, the chat is really out to get you. These
Wow.
Good help.
Great.
Good help.
I mean, as if I'm not dangerous enough to myself.
right.
That is 2441.
Your voice makes people feel hostile and aggressive.
That's good, because Yidris' next step in her plan. You're both screaming at this demon.
So like, I'm shouting, "Demon!" and the outside Yidris is like, "Demon!"
So Yidris actually responds to the cry of demon with Sigma, and she like raises her flail.
Okay. It's within
she's...
charging distance.
Don't say that,
like
dude.
That's how close it is.
Don't
tell her that.
Words.
Don't get
What
rid
she
of
wants to do is I'm gonna do what I was gonna do. She wants to just strike the ground in front of her as hard as she can with the flail and ready to parry.
You can definitely go and get yourself murdered if you want.
Okay. So you scream out. This thing, confused as to what's going on, turns itself back around, and as it does, it sort of just like with its free hand, it's got a skull in one hand, and with its free hand, it is sort of like makes some sort of gesture, and a large brass and red colored sword just like forged out of hellfire appears in its hand, and it's about to make its way over to Yidris. Those of you on the battlements, which includes Matthias and Anakar, can see this. It is 150 yards to get where they are. And Matthias has a bum leg and 2 wounds.
Mm-hmm. He's going. He's not stopping him.
What time of day is this?
This is getting to be late afternoon. This is before Alero. This is about Alero will come in soon enough. This is after Sophia has perished. Yes. All right. Let's all of us go ahead and roll initiative.
My God.
Oh, goodness.
Jim, you know how we discussed rolling on the Dooms table earlier, and I kind of forgot to get back to you? I pre-decided, like, myself, just within my head, what I thought Idris had seen, and that's why she can't let this demon get anywhere near Matthias right now.
Gotcha. I understand completely.
Also, Architect, the Satchel of Burden, we've been talking about that, and I think Jim has something in mind for the Satchel.
Yes.
We're doing initiative. That's a thing.
Yes, we are.
Yay.
55. All right. It looks like Rat is going to take the initiative first. Alero, go ahead and roll in the initiative, Alero.
Okay.
Imagine Alero walking in, like, West Timeline, just like...
Right.
Like, they're like, for 5 minutes! It's like, walk in and the feet are like...
Matthias. And then Yidris's was 42. Oh, okay, so both... who has the higher agility between Nora and Yidris?
Oh, wait.
I have 34.
32.
Okay, Yidris. So initiative order is going to be Rat, Alero, myself, Matthias, Yidris, and Nora, and then the NPCs will go after Nora. So this demon, this blood demon, has turned its attention towards Yidris, drawn its hellfire sword from the ether, and is making to charge towards her. Alero, shortly after Sophia perishes, you hear a gunshot, followed very closely by a second gunshot. And this is you're within sight of the walls. You're in the northern fields. Sweet.
Some boss
You're in
wants
the
to
northern
egg the party.
Yeah, I know exactly who it is as well. Sweet. And Alero, you're north of the fields. I need Alero to make me a perception test real quick.
Okay. Is this sight or sound?
This is sight.
Okay, I rolled an 8. That's a huge success.
Not very far from where you are at, there is a pack of 4 wolves running in the same general direction. One of them has russet sort of red fur, and the other 3 are like the sort of timber wolves that are around here. They are the only natural animals you have seen today who are not devouring corpses. And they are running in the same general direction that you are running in.
Okay. She knows that sometimes the spirits of animals can mean well. As long as she ain't running towards her, she continues running faster if possible, if that is possible for her small frame to handle.
Yeah. What's your movement?
My movement is 5.
Okay. Do you have a place on your character sheet that tells you like what your running speed is? Because it is 150 yards away.
It says run is 30.
30. So it's going to be a few rounds before you make it. That's going to be like
okay.
5
Well, I mean,
rounds.
but
okay. You've got a bow and shit.
Yeah, I got a bow, so I can fire from far away.
So like I said, there's no cover in these fields, right? These fields have yet to be sown. And so once you kind of crest a low hill, after your movement this round, you can see what's going on. A large humanoid demonic figure with red metallic skin is stalking along the edges. And unless you pass perception checks, you won't be able to see Idris or Nora. Rat, it is. I think actually I skipped Rat. So Rat, it is your turn. You technically go first. My bad.
Cool. So we're here, and are they out of the north gate? Did you say?
They're at the east gate. East gate.
So I've got to run all the way through. What I will do, I will come sprinting out of the castle. I'll run as quick as I can, running past one of the guards. I'll point at Matthias and I'll say, "Get that motherfucking horse!" And I'll just keep fucking going. if you can let me know roughly when I get, would I get anywhere near the inn this turn?
Yes, you will get near the inn.
Have I got enough actions to open the door to the stable and start making a fucking racket so these horses run out?
Scrap for the raid. We appreciate it.
Yes, you've got enough to do that.
Yeah, so I will kick these horses. I will do not very nice thing to these horses. I'm aiming to drive them east.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Matthias, you know that if you were to mount a horse and ride it, your wound would open. In game terms, you'd lose a wound for riding a horse. But you're slow as shit otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, if I take a hit, I die. So, losing the wound is fair enough. He will mount up.
Okay.
Being the person that he is, he can't not. He sees Yidris and Nora in danger, and he sees a demon, and
let's be honest, he sees the demon. That's the only thing he sees.
So as you're leaving, Altamon hands you something. He hands you a pistol that has Sigmar's hammer sort of engraved on the bottom of it. And as you pull it back, you see that it is in fact an experimental Hochland pistol, 6-chambered.
Eddie. Okay. I just nod to him.
6-barreled pepperbox style pistol.
Yeah, like a pistolier type one. Matthias actually, in my backstory, not actually anything in my career, but he was a pistolier for a time because he comes from he found himself in a noble family in Altdorf. So he recognizes the craftsmanship as he mounts up. And this is the Aragorn look back at Eowyn moment where Eowyn is rat. And he rides out.
I want a fan art of that.
With so the music starts rising. And he's
Ottokar rushes alongside you. He doesn't have a mount, but Herman Scheuermann mounts his horse and rides alongside Matthias. The 2 dwarves who are unwounded, their names are Nordrin and Rathan, also run out. So it's Matthias and Herman Scheuermann. He's got a pistol in one hand as well, who are in the lead, and then the dwarves plus Ottokar are bringing up the rear. I'm going to go ahead and say that mounted, you will be able to get to actually the east gate and start riding out into the fields.
What's the range on the Hochland pistol, by the way?
It's the same as a normal pistol. It just doesn't need to be reloaded except for 6 shots.
Sweet.
Basically, fire it as many times as you've got attacks per round, as long as you got ammo. And then that's kind of the setup. It is now Demon's turn, and it charges towards Yidris. All right, that gives me a plus 20 to hit.
I've got a parry.
Yes, you do.
I don't know how to do that, but I have one.
I have got, so that was 72, 64. I hit you, and that's a body shot? Or so, no, that's a left arm shot. So you can attempt to parry.
Yep.
And we compare degrees of success. Ooh.
Oh, God.
This blade that comes down is bigger than any mortal sword you've seen. And it sort of like sweeps and hits your left arm. Here we go.
I can't look.
Did it not hit a leg? That's more armored.
That's 13 damage.
All right.
And I need you to only use your toughness bonus when determining how much it cuts through your armor.
So my toughness bonus is 4. So that's 9 wounds.
All right. Yidris takes 9 wounds to her arm. Let's see.
Oh.
And then it comes in with its other attack and is attempting to rake you with its... Wait, never mind. It charged, so it only gets the one attack. My bad. It's Matthias' turn.
I'm at the east gate.
Uh-huh.
That's all I know. I'm gonna ride as close. I need to get within 16 yards, right? It's yards in this game?
Yes, yards.
Is that
16 yards.
16 yards to be able to shoot this thing with the Hockland.
And I don't know what the hell a horse. I'm going to go ahead and just say, if you push your horse momentarily, you can get within 16 yards of it. Like, just dart across the field.
Okay, I do so. Can I take a shot?
You can.
I'm gonna try and take 2 shots. My ballistics goes at minus 15% thanks to my injuries.
Yes.
Is it ballistics? Yeah.
Yes, correct. Weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, and agility.
Okay, I'm gonna spend I'm gonna spend my nat 20 to try and get this thing because I'll be down.
Gotcha.
On the first shot. So same damage on the Hockland.
Correct.
Pistol?
Yeah, 4 plus D10. Yeah, it should all be the same as how you got it set up.
12 points.
12 points of damage. And that was to, where did you end up?
Sorry,
you
I
used a
rolled
crit.
it
Go ahead
wrong.
and just roll me a D100 to see where you hit it.
70.
70. Body shot.
7. Yep.
That's a headshot.
Headshot, yeah.
So you right up and take aim with your first one, and it hits its head, and you can see a great big splatter of blood as your bullet hits it. You're not sure whether it's the blood that's covering it or its own demonic blood. Your first attack hits.
I take the second shot.
Okay.
And this one I'm looking to get. Let's do math. Okay, I'm getting some amount. Low. Nope.
No. All right. Now's Matthias' turn.
Yep.
Yidris.
Alright, I'm going to swing with my flail and hope I hit this thing.
Use your
Alright.
crit. Use your crit.
Yeah. Oh, did I have one?
You got one.
You got a crit.
Okay.
It's above you.
I would like to guarantee my hit, please.
All right. So you
Good.
guaranteed your hits. That's
69.
69. Body shot.
That is good.
Hey.
Alright, instead of damaging it, can I attempt to disarm it using my disarm skill? You need to make an opposed agility. Opposed agility test. If I win, my opponent is disarmed and the weapon drops to the ground. It can be picked up with a ready action. If the opponent wins, he retains his weapon. Natural
Alright, let's roll
weapons
it.
cannot be disarmed.
Let's roll it.
Okay. I'm not very good at agility. I don't know why I did this to myself.
Ooh. Okay. I'm going to say our weapons don't even connect in the flurry of combat, as this thing is clearly in some kind of demonic frenzy. You go to try to disarm it and wrap your flail around it and spin it out like you do, and your weapon doesn't even connect with his.
Alright, I'll just bring the flail back around and try and hit him again.
Okay.
So close.
That's fail there. Whew. Flail fail.
Flail, fail.
Nora.
Nora jumps up and seeing Yidris in this position just uses her crit and rolls to attack this thing. So I just roll damage, don't I?
Give me a go roll just to see where you hit, but you can just roll damage as well. 32. Right arm.
Not good, eh, Pruitt? Not good.
And that's with your. So both Nora and Yidris have connected solidly with this thing at least once now, and its skin is indeed metallic and not like any other armor that you've seen, and so it's difficult to tell the impact of your wounds. You saw when Matthias shot it that something happened. It didn't seem to react in pain or irritation or anything. So it's difficult to tell exactly how effective your attacks are. That was your first attack, Nora. What do you do with the other
action? She's
action?
just gonna swing again. She's not too sure what to do other than just hit this thing.
Oh, that's now that the two of you are fighting it, you get a +10 to hit. So that is a hit. 13 damage. All right. Yeah, you continue to hit it. It is the NPC's turn. Shoyerman is going to attempt to shoot this thing, and we will see if he hits. He does not. His shot goes wide, but he kind of like Matthias goes one way, he kind of goes the other way, and the two of you, the creature's back is to you. The autocar runs out, and the dwarves run out, and the wolves continue to run out as well. That makes it Rat's turn.
Hey, wait, hang on, you missed someone.
Oh, did I miss someone?
Someone small, furry, and beautiful.
Mullet is still there. I need Mullet to make me a willpower test, I'm afraid.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine.
Fail, please. Yes.
Mullet fails about as much as anyone can.
Mullet takes off for the woods.
Okay, that's fine. Now it's my turn. So I will stride forward. Can I get into about 48 range? 48 yards?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and say that. If you just like running as
I will
fast as
kind of try and load my sling while sprinting, and then it'll already be loaded, but I'll lob this thing at it. I have to half my bloody thing, don't I?
Yeah, until you're fully healed, you still have your penalties, even though you paid your fate point to remove them. Until you're healed, you still have your penalties.
Ah, damn it. That was close. I miss. That's not quite right. That's still a miss, though.
That is still a miss.
That's a crit for Rat as well from Hogwallow. Thank you, my friend.
Sweet.
Do you want to retcon and let me have that crit?
No.
No, that's fine. Okay, I'll save it for next time. Thank you for the crit, though.
There we go. That was Rat's turn. Alero.
Okay, so how far was I away at the end of last turn?
You ran, so you're like 120 yards away. Something like that, maybe less, like 112, 114.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna keep running.
Okay. Are you not within range of your bow?
I could make a long shot. I would have to take an aim action and be at a severe disadvantage, and I don't want to do that. There's too many people around, so
Too many people
she'll
around.
try to get within range of her long. Anyway, she's running.
All right.
Adventures in running.
Adventures in running. All right. So it's my turn. The demon acts and makes an attack each against Yidris and Nora. I think I'm going to use a crit, because I got one.
Gee, what happened last time Jim did this?
Let's see where Yidris gets hit. Yidris is hit at 88. Right leg.
It's a leg. Yep.
All right.
Look, Matthias,
Damage.
a match.
Could be a lot worse. That's kind of really shitty damage. 7 damage to Yidris.
Right.
Remember, do
That
not
goes
count
to-
your armor, just your toughness.
Yeah, that goes to 3 points. And I'm considered heavily wounded, with just
Okay.
one wound remaining.
Oh God.
Now we're really bad.
And then Friday's game is just gonna be all you guys just convalescing. And then an
All
attack
new
against
characters.
Nora. So Nora's hit 990.
All we do is send letters to people.
right leg. Nora's right leg is hit.
Oh fuck.
No.
That's 18 damage to Nora's right leg. That is. There's no armor, just your toughness.
I think I'm down.
So are you? Is that all your wounds?
Yeah, I was
You
on
were hit by
11.
that. Okay. How many over 0 or how many under 0 does it go? Like how many wounds did you have left?
I had 11 left.
11
And you
left.
took
18. What was your
18.
toughness?
And your toughness?
Toughness is... Sorry about that.
Fast digit
5.
TN.
5.
So you took 13.
Five.
So 2 under.
2. That could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse.
All of us have fucked legs.
Let's see. Here we go. The demon's weapon severs large muscles on the back of your thigh as it cleaves into your leg. Nora falls to the ground, and until you are healed, have a -2 penalty to your move and a -20 to any dodge blow that you use. Right now, you're not in danger of bleeding out or anything, but you have a nasty slashing wound to your leg that is currently kind of crippling you.
Okay.
That is the end of the demon's turn. Matthias.
Motherfucker. Gotta try and shoot it. I have to try and shoot it.
Matthias, please convert to Ulrich real quick.
That is a success, even with my -15 on the first shot.
Yep.
This is shot number 3 of the Hockland. It deals 11 points of damage.
All right.
72
Continue to
body.
blast away. What's that?
Body
How
shot.
close do you get to this thing?
I'm staying at range. He's not an idiot.
Then you can make your second attack.
I think low. 35. Yes, that is a success. Season with my -15. Shot number 4 from the Hockland pistol goes out for 10 points of damage to the left arm.
All right. This thing appears, like I said, it's difficult to tell how wounded it is, but you have shot it twice, what you know to be very, killing shots. You've seen Nora and Yidris land several telling blows against it, but it's a demon. Its physical body is made of stuff of magic. That's Matthias' turn. Yidris.
Just gonna swing until I'm dead, because that is all I got.
Okay.
That's the spirit.
Yidris!
I want to use a fortune point and do a reroll.
Okay, so you do have +10 to hit with it.
Okay.
And the wolves are almost on top of this thing, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that they're gonna grant you their bonus when they go. So you have everybody in melee has +20 for it.
That's even worse. Alright, first one's a mess. First one's a mess.
That was your first attack, yeah.
Yep. Second swing. Have you hit,
20.
right?
Yeah.
+20. Yep.
Yes. Good. Good. Bad.
9 damage.
9.
All right. Yeah, this is the first time it seems to have sort of reacted to a hit. Matthias is over there blasting away at it with his pistol. Yidris and Nora are sort of hammering away with their rather large weapons against it. Yidris hits it this time, and it kind of staggers for a brief second and kind of seems to be knocked off balance. Nora, you are currently on the ground. You can stand, but you're a little wobbly, or you can attack it from where you're at.
I think she's cried out in pain at how painful and grabbed her leg, but will look it straight in the eye. She's pretty pissed off now and just stand up and try and swing at it again.
All right.
Yes.
And she
That's
does. And she's screaming as she does this. This really hurts, but she just wants to hit it for all she's got, so that's 14.
All right, so Nora screams out. These wolves have started to rush up and are grabbing a hold of it, worrying at its feet, trying to latch on to its sword arm. The one in red is all up on its business as well. And Nora hits it. That was a hit to 31. That's right arm. And I need you to go ahead and roll another D percentile as you score a critical hit against it.
Yes.
Okay. What am I rolling, sorry?
A D100, please.
D100.
Yes.
Low is
Nice.
good on these. Yeah. Nora brings her axe down on its right arm, severing the demon's arm cleanly at the shoulder. You hear the sound of metal on metal as it just shears through its skin. And this was its right arm, so that's the arm holding the Hellblade. It falls to the ground. Demon doesn't react in pain or anything like that. It just looks down at its limb before, resuming the fight. Fuck. All right.
Do I get a second attack? Do I
Yes,
get
you
to,
do.
probably
This guy's going
effing
full
and
bullets.
blinding, but swearing a head off, but probably
Oh,
just
shit.
Yes.
That
There is
okay.
no right arm.
Oh, but
and 10.
ooh, that's a
Oh.
Lord Fury from Nora.
This is it. This is what Nora's been saving for.
Nora is making me
Alright.
so happy right now.
I'm angry now. It hit her.
Yeah,
I'm really
you could
pissed
go
off.
ahead and roll
It got,
that
like-
exploding damage die.
Okay.
Come on, baby, 10.
Just 1d10, isn't it?
Yeah, just 1d10.
Oh,
so close.
so close.
That's
Damn, that's gonna get
24.
decent.
All right. Jeez. Okay. So this kind of all happens at once. As the red wolf is running up, its form, the mass of it just increases enormously, and it goes from a red wolf to a red bear and kind of like slams into the back of the demon. Right as Nora, you're bringing your axe down on the thing's head, and this is the second kill for Nora today. How do you kill the bloodletter of corn, Nora?
I think she's in a bit of a rage and she's just screaming, and if she can raise it up and just slice it across, cutting it down, if it can go in half, she will do it and then kick it over.
All
as she
right.
finishes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you
probably
bring
falls
your axe
over
down
after
on
that
it.
because of her leg.
All right. You bring your axe down on it as this bear is like crashing down onto the form and raking it with its claws. The wolves are pulling at it. The people are on their horses are firing at it, and you split its head open with your axe as it hits the ground, and the thing very quickly dissolves into a gross pool of congealed blood that just soaks into the ground. We're out of initiative order.
I'm riding up on the horse and I'm picking up. I don't know. Probably can't pick up Nora on the horse. I'll pick up Yidris. And I'm gonna call over aid. Help them! And I'm gonna try and, if I can. I mean, I know I'm on like one wound right now, so I'm gonna try and lean down in the saddle and like, if Yidris can still pull herself up, throw onto the back of the horse.
Okay.
She
Yeah.
has one good arm, right? She's got one good arm.
Yeah.
No, she's got two good arms. It was the leg. Never mind. Yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
I think
Just to let
Nora's
you were
sort of-
both separate. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Nora.
Sorry, I was saying Nora's sort of bent over, just breathing really heavily, with a mixture of pain and just being exhausted, and tries to help Yidris up as well.
Okay. That's an insanity point for Nora because you had the critical hit against you, and I forget Yidris. I didn't get a critical hit against you. You're just heavily wounded.
I'm just heavily wounded.
Okay. So that's an insanity point for Nora as you sever the crit, and the stillness to the forest returns. There is like I said, you're Nora's sort of standing in this puddle of demon blood that is larger than it should by rights be. And there's this massive red-furred bear that's kind of like backing out of it, and 3 wolves that are sort of circling around, and their hackles raised towards the woods. Nora, or I guess Alero, at this point, you run up.
What happened? Demon.
I just came from Badao. What happened? We were traveling the road, and then I was there.
I spit out a tooth.
Where's Sophia?
She fell. I pushed her too hard, I believe. I don't know what has happened. Oh my god, Idris. Nora. And she runs over to help Nora up. And
Nora sort of takes it and heaves herself up and just pats Alera on the back, just like not saying anything, just focused on the ground, probably trying not to throw up.
And I'm riding Idris back into the castle to find Attilia.
Okay. It's heading back there.
Can I try and talk to this bear thing? Like, it doesn't look like a normal bear,
rat
right?
alone with the bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like
bear-
Herman probably gets Nora and takes her to the keep as well for medical attention. This bear sort of like backs away out of the puddle of blood, and the bear sort of like its shape shrinks and collapses in on itself, and the fur becomes long hair, and in front of you is a middle-aged woman in animal skins with lots of talismans and like feathers and claws and animal paws and the like, and she
Matthias turns back. Wait.
and this is Rat that's up there. Yeah.
Rat's kind of looking towards it. Figma?
No, I'm afraid not, little one. My name is Red Wolf. I came as soon as I heard about the attack.
Thank you for your help. My friends would have been in trouble without you. Look, I hate to ask you this. Are you a witch?
I'm not. Rat, I am a magister of the Amber College, a shaman, if you will.
okay.
Okay.
She's official. Everything's fine.
Yeah,
you
and
know
she
what that
sees your
was?
badges. Right, you guys are wearing your witch hunter badges, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm legit." But she's saying, I'm assuming everyone who was on horses are in the village by now. If you guys were like taking off to the castle, unless you do turn back and see this woman there.
If I would have heard Rat start talking, and you said that Herman came over to help Nora, Alera might turn around and maybe draw an arrow and just kind of like not knock it, but have it ready.
In whose direction?
Well, just looking back at Rat and them. I mean, she just sees, a person there with some wolves, but kind of just watching over.
All right. Let's.
Do you know what that thing was?
It was a. She sort of like, seems about to launch into an explanation of some kind, and she instead kind of looks, and it was a demon, a blood demon, servant of one of the ruinous powers.
I thought so. You sound like you might be of a bit of help. Could you spare the time to come back to the castle? I've got a person, Matthias. He's a very brave man. You might be able to help him, and he might be able to help you. It seems like our paths may be crossed, and we may have similar goals and similar enemies.
Indeed, I should hope that you have come here to rid this land of the disease which corrupts it. I'd be happy to speak with you, Matthias.
Hey, and we get a critical success, roll of combatants, and a wild magic surge for the fresh, unhurt, unhelpful elf. Wow, savage getting good.
Wow.
That's hard. That's harsh, man. And he just
That's some bullshit.
Yeah.
I lost something too today, okay?
Sophia, more F's in chat for Sophia.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Yeah. Let's do the wild magic surge real quick.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Look it up here.
4509.
509.
Caster dies.
If you are slain, you forever haunt the dreams of your slayer.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
God,
Really
I hope
cool.
Matthias has to kill Alero at some point. That would be amazing.
The foreshadowing.
That's really awesome. So let's see. Those of you who are riding back, we've got Yidris and Matthias on one horse, and Herman Scheuermann and Nora on the other as they make their way in. On the way back, Autocar sort of follows along behind and is not too far behind from where you are. So you just burst into the keep and fresh wound.
Yeah, I burst in the keep and shout for Attilia.
Okay. She comes out. She was actually probably in the courtyard with Alterman. Actually, maybe on the battlements watching, and she sees you riding in and meets you in the courtyard, and immediately, without she's like, "I'll prepare the water and get bandages. Autocar's herbs are almost ready." Actually, no, wait, never mind. I guess she said that. You guys haven't even given her the herbs yet.
I know.
She
I know.
starts,
Myself am like super pale and get off the horse and help Yidris down.
Oh yeah. Actually, have Matthias make me a toughest test, please.
Nope.
He
5
faints
degrees
a
of
bit,
fail.
not like unconscious, but just sort of like need to be caught as you're getting down off the horse.
Yeah. I kind of lean against the horse. As I take her. I'm fine.
I feel like Yidris would have like reached out to try and catch him, and then realized that she's in agony too and can do shit all about it.
We're like flail at each other in agony.
Right.
My leg, man, my leg.
So everyone who approached the castle sort of comes inside and begins to get medical attention, either from Attilia or from Autocar. Those of you who are still out in the field, Red Wolf is ready to make way. She's looks impatient almost and addresses Rat. If your Matthias is in that castle, I'd be happy to meet with him.
Yeah, just let me get my dog and I'll call Mullet.
Okay.
Does he come running out?
Let's see. I'm gonna have you make me a for Mullet. Make me a fellowship test with a plus 30 bonus. As Mullet is your boon companion.
Cool.
You got
So it's
crits,
gonna be
man.
plus 10. That is a fail.
Well, you got 50 plus. You got like 80,
But
right? Oh no, that's 50. 50. My bad. 50 is with your bonus.
no, so I've not done the minus the negative. Would you say Mullet was affected by my negative fellowship roll?
No.
Okay,
No.
so that would be a pass. That is a pass then.
Okay. It's not too much longer before it's sort of an uncomfortable minute or two where no Mullet, and then very slowly afterwards, Mullet with his tail between his legs and just scared, just trembling scared, comes out of the woods. And I think now is as good a time as any. Maybe call it a little early. And we will
Damn.
as the party has some wounds to recover from and some information to process.
Just a scratch. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just a first round.
Wait, so what we're doing is it closes on Rat and Mullet reuniting, happy and everything, and then Alero just staring at the pet and companion together, longing for Sophia to be alive still.
And she turns her back on the scene and just walks quietly into the castle.
Oh God, the tragedy. Well, my friends, that's where we're ending tonight's session of Warhammer Beneath Dark Boughs. If you enjoyed the show, please do let us know. If you haven't joined us yet, hit the follow button and join us. We've actually got a special extra episode of Warhammer happening this week on Friday. Friday, same time as this, 4 p.m. Eastern. we'll be playing another game of Warhammer, picking up from where we left off, because it's my birthday. We're doing a 12-hour stream, and this is one of the second game along the
Second game,
second game in the set list for that. So tune in Friday 4 p.m. Eastern for the next episode of Warhammer Beneath Dark Boughs, and usually it is every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Good God. Stick around as well. We've got Star Wars coming up here in a few minutes' time, so that'll be fun. But let's go around to cast and crew. What an episode. Holy shit, I thought they were all dead. Do we enjoy Star Wars? Where can we find you guys online? Pruitt, thoughts, my friend?
Yeah, well, my thoughts are it was an exciting adventure of writing, forgetting, and running, and then tragedy. And so once again, Alero comes through unscathed physically, but emotionally is rather torn. And so I love this game, and seeing the party get that close to just like someone truly getting something lopped off. That's some horrid shit to actually live through. So I can't wait till Friday to see what happens, which will probably a lot of convalescing, a lot of Alero brooding. And so I can't wait for that. I'm Pruitt. I'm one half of WebDM alongside my beautiful bearded co-host here, Jim Davis. Have my game Starward Bound on Tuesday nights. Tune into RPGN on Sunday, 1 o'clock. Also, Saturday morning, I'll be on Scraticus's channel playing. I'm not sure what we're playing. It's a one-shot. We're going to be in prison. I know that. And can't wait to come back next week. Going to be at Saber Dice here in about, 15 minutes with these two beautiful bastards. And so, yeah, until next week. See you then.
Great stuff. And Charlie.
We got the herbs, guys. Achievement. Such a good game. And as ever, I'm just saying, I want to play more.
We're going to double tap it this weekend. 2 games.
Yes. You can find me at Frost from Fire on Twitter. No O in the from. Tomorrow night, I'm on Young Jinx's channel at 8 p.m. UK. That's 3 p.m. EST. On Friday, I'm on Scraticus's channel with the lovely Alice DMing at 5 p.m. UK, which I think is noon EST. And then I'm back here for Warhammer on Friday. And then next week, there's a whole load of new stuff. I will get it all posted up on Twitter, so you know where to find me.
Great stuff. Thank you, Charlie. Jim, do I ask your thoughts, Jim? I don't remember.
No, not yet. That's okay. We're all a little addled, it seems, after 2 combat-heavy sessions of Warhammer. I love this system. If 4th edition delivers the same sort of tension and nail-biting suspense that 2nd edition does, then it will be a great game, I'm sure. I love this game. I love playing with you guys. Looking forward to this Friday and seeing what happens then. I am the other half of WebDM, as Pruitt mentioned, and you can find me on YouTube on Wednesdays. We've got our own Twitch channel for Tuesdays and Thursday gaming, Land Between Two Rivers and Starward Bound. Flip those up. And then I, of course, will be playing this Friday for Will's birthday in both the Cypher game and the Warhammer game. So come and hang out with us on Friday as we celebrate that beautiful, sexy D&D icon. Will Jones.
And
Absolutely, do that.
Warhammer icon.
And that Warhammer icon now.
Warhammer child murdering icon. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Great stuff. Well, I actually didn't kill her, so we can blame Gareth for that. Alice.
Yeah, that was an awesome but very tense session. I felt a couple of us might have actually died at that point, but I'm very happy that we're alive and already have the herbs to heal us so we don't have to go out again. I am White Rabbit Pick on Twitter, and you can find me when I'm not playing here. I am DMing playing on the Scratch channel. I'm DMing this Friday, shortly before running back over here to play another game of Warhammer, which I can't wait. So, yeah, awesome. Again.
Great stuff. Thank you, Alice. And last but not least today, because you murdered a child, and you're golden in my eyes, Gareth.
Did I make you proud, Will? Did I make you proud?
Sure did.
I thought made RP was the lowest I could get, but nope, it turns out it gets worse. I'm always the one without anything to plug, but seriously, go check these guys out. Go subscribe to WebDM, go subscribe to Encounter Roleplay. Check these guys on Twitter. They're pumping out so much, I would say well above average content that you should go and enjoy.
Definitely slightly above the average.
Yeah, above the curve.
Content, yeah, just
no, these guys are awesome. Go show them some love. There's so much more that they do. Go and watch it now. Well, not now, because they're going to go do the other stuff.
That's right, yes. Well, yeah, stick around here on Encounter Roleplay for Star Wars, or join myself, Jim and Pruitt on youtube.com/saveordice for some Dungeons and Dragons. I've got a new character rolled up, and all I'll tell you is that his name is Campus. Do with that what you will. We'll see you guys soon. Until next time, try not to roll too many nat ones. We want to be laughing when you do. Good night, everybody.